Hello everyone, myself Hina Madam from St. Joseph English Medium High School, Vijaypur. Today we are going to discuss the second topic of 8th standard from physics part, that is friction. So come, let us move towards physics class and there we will study about friction. See, my dear students, you might have seen a driver of car or a truck slowing down the vehicle at a traffic signal. You too slow down your bicycle whenever needed by applying brakes, right? So, have you ever thought why a vehicle slow down when brakes are applied? Not only vehicles, any object moving over the surface of another object slows down when no external force is applied on it. Have you not seen a moving ball on the ground stopping after some time? Why do we slip when we step on a banana peel? And why it is difficult to walk on a smooth and wet floor? So, now we are going to find out the answers to such questions in this chapter. So, first thing we will study about force of friction. In this first, we will discuss about activity 12.1. See, in activity 12.1, what we have to do? See, gently push a book on a table. You observe that it stops after moving for some distance. Repeat the activity by pushing the book from the opposite direction. Does the book stop this time also? Can you think of explanation? Can we say that a force must be acting on the book opposing its motion? This force is called the force of friction. So, here you saw that if you apply the force along the left, friction acts along the right. And if you apply the force along the right, the friction acts along the left direction. So, in both cases, the force opposes the motion of the book. The force of friction always opposes the applied force. So, this is the main point we have to remember. So, what is that point? The force of friction always opposes the applied force. So, here the question arises. So, what are that questions? See, is the friction is same for all the surfaces? Does it depends on the smoothness of the surface? So, let us find out. Factors affecting friction. In this, we will discuss activity 12.2. Before we start activity, let me tell you about spring balance. See, spring balance is a device used for measuring the force acting on an object. It consists of a coiled spring which gets stretched when a force is applied to it. Stretching of the spring is measured by a pointer moving on a graduated scale. The reading on the scale gives the magnitude of the force. So, this is about spring balance. Now, we will discuss about activity 12.2. For activity 12.2, the required materials are the spring balance and the two boxes of different weight. Okay, and now we have to choose one box. So, the first box we are taking of 1 kg. So, the first thing we have to tie the thread to the box and we have to tie a string to the same thread. And now we have to slightly apply some force on the spring balance. So, because of the force applied on the spring balance, what will happen? The coiled spring will get stretched, right? So, because of this stretching, the pointer which is situated on the graduated scale will starts to move. Okay, and when the box will slightly move from its rest place, at that time we have to note down the reading in the spring balance. Okay, and we have to repeat this same experiment by taking the next box. Okay, the one more box is of 2 kg. So again we have to do the same thing. What? Again we have to tie the thread to the box, and then we have to tie the string to the same thread, and then again we have to apply some force. So because of the force applied on the string, what will happen? The pointer which is situated on the graduated scale, it will start to move, right? And this reading also we have to note down, and this activity we have to repeat by wrapping a piece of jute or bag around the boxes. So what we have observed, we have to note down the things. Now we will discuss the activity 12.3. In the activity 12.3, make an inclined plane on a smooth floor or on a table. You may use a wooden board supported by bricks or books. Put a mark with a pen at any point A on the inclined plane. Now let a pencil cell move down from this point. How far does it move on the table before coming to rest? Note down the distance. Okay. Now spread a piece of cloth over the table. Make sure that there are no wrinkles in the cloth. Try the activity again. Okay. And by repeating this activity, by spreading a thin layer of sand over the table, maintain the same slope throughout the activity and note down the readings. So after doing these activities, what we are having the idea about friction? Friction is caused by the irregularities on the two surfaces in contact. Even those surfaces which appear very smooth have a large number of minute irregularities on them. Irregularities on the two surfaces lock into one another. When we attempt to move any surface, we have to apply a force to overcome interlocking, right? On rough surfaces, there are large number of irregularities. So, the force of friction is greater if a rough surface is involved. So, we saw that the friction is caused by the interlocking of irregularities in two surfaces. It is obvious that the force of friction will increase if two surfaces are pressed harder. Now we will move towards the types of frictions. There are 3 types of friction. The first one is static friction, then the second one is sliding friction, and the third one is rolling friction. So let us discuss one by one. The first one is static friction. So how we can define the static friction? We can define it as the force required to overcome friction at the instant an object starts moving from rest is a measure of static friction. So, to understand better about static friction, we will take example of pushing box. So, you can observe here that the box is not moving, it is in stationary position, right? And now, we know that to move any heavy object from rest, we need to apply some force, right? So, this type of friction is known as static friction. Then, the next type of friction is sliding friction, and the definition of sliding friction is the force required to keep the object moving with the same speed is a measure of sliding friction. So, here also again we will consider the example of box. But here you can see that the box is already in motion, right? So to move it again, we doesn't require more energy, and we find it somewhat easier to move the box which is already in motion than to get it started. So the sliding friction is slightly smaller than the static friction. Then the last type of friction is rolling friction. So the definition of rolling friction is when one body rolls over the surface of another body, the resistance to its motion is called the rolling friction. This is the definition of rolling friction. So to understand the rolling friction, let us discuss activity 12.4. So for the activity 12.4, we need the required materials are book and few pencils. Then we have to keep that pencils on the table in the horizontal form, and we have to keep the book on the pencils. Now we have to apply some force on the book. Then after applying the force on the book starts to roll over the pencils. Why the book will starts to roll here? Because the force applied on the book, okay, so because of that force the pencils starts to roll. So because of the rolling of pencils, book will also starts to roll. So here we will feel somewhat easier to move the book, right? So again the rolling friction is much smaller than the sliding friction. So this is about the rolling friction. And next things we will discuss in the next section. Thank you everyone.